What's up, everybody? Michael Silva here to do a technical analysis update on the S&P 500. We are going to be looking at the daily time frame and the 30-minute time frame. I'm going to give you my overall insight onto support and resistance and where I see this market heading. Let's get into it. All right, if it is your first time here, welcome to my channel. I do these S&P 500 updates every day, except for yesterday. I want to talk about that. I also have a series called the Weekly Scan, and that is where I post my watch list every Saturday going into the next week on stock picks that I think are going to be a good play. I also have the Quick Tips, where I give you quick little tips and tidbits of information, and I have other various videos that I kind of just sprinkle in there. All right, enough about me and what I do. Let's hop into the reason why you're here, and that is to talk about the S&P 500 index, where we headed. Let's look at the technicals. We are on the daily time frame, and as I've been stating, this little red zone right here is the bear's camp. How did I come to this conclusion that this was the bear's camp? Well, if we look back in February and you see this drawdown and then this bump up, that was the big pullback that everyone's eyes were on. It created a lot of scare, but then it created a little bit of a trap saying, nope, that was just a quick little pullback. We will recover. And it got rejected right here at this top line and then pushed itself down to the March lows. So in technical analysis, when we saw this bump and this jump up to here and get rejected from this area, that is letting me know that this area right here is an area of resistance. Fast forward to today over here, when you look at this resistance, and the bottom portion of the chart is the $3,000 level, which was basically right above the 61% retracement level, just right above it. And it has been kind of just like a hot knife through butter. These bulls are just cutting right through the camp these last 4 days, just boom, 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 and boom. And it is coming now to the top of this bear camp, which is at 3141. Now, interestingly enough, I want to point out a couple other things. Now, I still think that there'll be a pullback here in the near future, and by pullback, I want to be clear, I don't think it's going to be a pullback to freaking the like a double bottom or anything, but what I do think it's going to be around 100 to 200 point drop, maybe not in a day, but maybe a week that it might take, or a couple of days. But if we look back in the history of the chart, you see there's been pullbacks throughout this kind of run up. So boom, we have one there, here, and then we really haven't had one since. Now these drops have typically been around 100 to 150 point drops, different pullbacks. So eventually we will get some sort of consolidation. There will be a little bit of a pullback. Now, whether it closes below the 3,000 or even lower, then that's determined to see what takes place. For all we know, if we get the close above this resistant level of 3140, we can see it easily go and touch the February highs, which was at 3388 right up top, and we can see a double top, and then we might see the pullback. Now that'd be a long ways to go in a pretty short period of time without seeing a pullback. So I think that it'll happen here in the near future, some sort of consolidation, but don't start getting into short positions because we might see that type of pullback. It's just too dangerous at this particular time, especially looking at today's candle. It is just one big green candle just moving straight through this bear's camp. Now, the day's not completely over. We still have about 40 minutes left in the day, which these last 30 minutes every day have been actually quite impressive amounts of volume and movement. So let's hop into the 30-minute time frame to see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so we are here on the 30-minute time frame. I wanted to draw out these areas of resistance that I had previously on the chart. It was this right here. Now it is acting as support. The reason why it's acting as support is because once resistance is broken, it then becomes support, and it was clearly acting as resistance up here, here, and in the last 30 minutes of yesterday, you really saw that big bump up. It was actually within just like 10-20 minutes where you really saw an aggressive move to the upside. Now, part of me thought that, hey, this aggressive move at the end was the exact opposite of what's been taking place previous days, where in the last 30 minutes of trading, we see the pull back and then a gap up the next day. So I was thinking maybe if we had this huge amount of volume that came in onto the upside, we might see a gap down the next day. Obviously, that's just speculation, but clearly it did not go down. It gapped up. And what I find interesting about this gap up is look where it gapped up. Sometimes when markets do not want to test a very specific area, the market just gaps above it. This has happened in previous videos where I was talking about a retest of a trend line, and instead of going back to retest it, the market just gapped over it. So very interesting. It gapped above the 3100 level and has been consistently just tracking up for the remainder of the day. Like I said, the day is not over. We still have 30 minutes. So this can very well just drop or just keep moving farther to the upside. It's anyone's game. So where is the resistance? Well, the resistance, boom, it's right there. Now we're going into the end of the bear camp, where if we get the close above it, it's a very, very possible situation where we can see the February highs, potentially even higher. There is contrarian economists out there that are saying that the S&P 500 could easily go to 4,000 to 4,100 before seeing the massive drop that they've been predicting. Now that is just one person's opinion, maybe a couple, but we are playing this day by day. The reason why I look at the 30-minute chart is because it gives us a good idea as to where we might see the next day. It's for intraday traders. I trade on the 5-minute time frame. You know, if you're trading on the daily on the S&P 500, right now I just don't see a good position to enter in because we're going into a big area of resistance. It hasn't broken above it. There's no confirmation. So I wouldn't go long, and I really wouldn't go short at this particular time until I see some sort of confirmation. Another area of support that I want to keep an eye on going in today's closing is just right here. I'm going to go ahead and make that green. As you can see, when it came up, it acted as resistance here, and then it acted as resistance again, and then broke above it here in the last previous 30-minute candle. Now there's going to be a new candle that is forming very closely here. It's 12:27 p.m. So in the next 3 minutes, it's going to create another new candle, and that's going to be the last 30-minute candle of the day. Now, it's already on, it's coming from a breakout candle here, so it's a very green candle. So it's going to be interesting to see where that next candle takes us. Because of this bullish momentum to the break above, this was resistance, now is support. We might see that green candle form actually right here up in this area. I wouldn't see that being an issue, especially how we've been seeing volume at the end of the day really take off, for example, right here. So you might actually see this next 30-minute candle break above this, or just kind of be within this little zone there. It's going to be anybody's game, but we will see what takes place. That's all I really have for you on today's video. Wanted to keep it short, wanted to keep it sweet, wanted to keep it to the point. I appreciate everyone here that's been watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I try to answer everybody's comments within a timely manner. So that's all I have for you today on the S&P 500 Technical Analysis Update. Y'all have a good day, and see you later.